Hi, welcome to the F1 Time Portal, a Formula One history podcast by a couple of friends that love Formula One. I'm your host, Rosa.
And I'm your New Zealand Colour TV host, Luigi. And today we are rating drivers from 1973 for our special series, the TP Championship. And this is part 2. So let's go.
And we welcome back Dan as well. Welcome back, Dan.
Thanks for having us again.
Do we have to ask Dan, what is New Zealand Colour TV? Is it just that? Is it when New Zealand got Colour TV?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know why New Zealand was singled out.
After us, Australia?
I don't know. I didn't check that. But I was thinking of Dennis Holm when I looked that up. I thought, yeah, Dennis Holm. Like he probably, because he was a bigwig Formula One driver, and I'm sure if colour TVs were coming in 73, only the rich would have been able to afford it.
Yeah.
And he would have been one of the rich ones.
Is it so that New Zealanders could watch him win in colour? Do you reckon?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yes, yeah. That's exactly it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we're up to the 6th race of the season, the Monaco Grand Prix. So the Monaco Grand Prix was held on a heavily revised circuit, which Rosa and I think is what the circuit is now in 2025-ish. The layout becoming even twistier and slower than before. Stewart qualified on pole position ahead of Peterson in the Lotus, but it was Stewart who took the lead at the start. Regazzoni moved his BRM ahead of Stewart, going up from 8th to 3rd, and this became 2nd when Stewart hit a curb stone and punctured his tyre. On lap 6, however, Regazzoni locked up coming out of the tunnel and had to make a pit stop. So now Stewart could start chasing down Peterson. When Peterson's Lotus started suffering from dropping fuel pressure, you hear Peterson having a lot of troubles this year, Stewart took the lead easily and steadily increased the lead himself. Fittipaldi got past his teammate Peterson for 2nd place, but did not manage to put up a real fight, with Stewart winning the race. The pair finished within 1.3 seconds of each other, so Fittipaldi caught him, but passing is another thing there. And Stewart and Fittipaldi lapped the rest of the field. So over to you, Dan, your top 3 and why.
Well, I gave Sever 3rd. Now, where did he finish? He finished 4th out of the race. But like that classic lock-up out of the tunnel, which cost him 2nd, I mean, that is one of those very particular spots. I mean, we get to enjoy the same track, nowadays with current F1 races. Some of these tracks, we just don't see the drivers currently drive them, but we do with Monaco, and we certainly see that lock-up out of that tunnel is an absolute classic spot for cars to go off. There is a bump. I'm assuming that same gosh darn bump that is out of the tunnel back then is still there. And it makes the rear end, as I understand it, makes the rear end a little bit light. It's only a little bit of a bump, but it happens like it's right when they're trying to brake it, maximum braking force. And it can make the car look like it's just snapping on a straight. And, I've seen so many times drivers just suddenly, their car just snaps in that spot, and then they go, sliding off. So, Sever gave us that classic lock up out of the tunnel, which just love them having that challenge. So, I thought he deserved 3rd. I just upgraded his 4th to 3rd. Fittipaldi, obviously, really good performance. He didn't win, but it was very solid. And Stewart, look, I had to give him the top spot because he did get pole, which, there's some bragging rights of pole around Monaco, let's face it. And then he went and won the race, and I'm assumed he controlled the race. So, I felt he deserved top marks.
No comments from me, no protests, Rosa?
Except for Stewart was the driver error. I don't know that I would recognise someone
it is. You lock up there. It's a lot of driver, but he didn't crash.
No, he didn't crash.
He didn't
this
crash.
Is true.
He just gave us something that
he gave us a bit of excitement.
Fans, it's a special moment. when they have to deal with that spot, and if they get that snap, at, I don't know, nowadays it's 300 Ks an hour, maybe back then it was 220 or 230.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get the rear snapping on you like that.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
So you are recognising his driver skill in not actually crashing the car.
And bringing to the fans what the sort of thing they want to see.
Some heart and mouth moments. Yes. Okay.
I'm just getting some points here. Recognising skill. Okay, so I've got third place Fittipaldi for a hard charging chase for the win. Like, he tried to take the win from Stewart and he got to within 1.3 seconds, but catching and passing is a different thing. I actually gave Stewart second because he gave us some fun at the start, and I called this the old school Luigi pick because he went from fourth to first at this track, which is pretty impressive, like pretty unbelievable start. He gave the fans what they want to see, and I recognise his driver skill.
Oh, so you're just using get your own reasons, Louis.
And I gave
cheating. You copied off of Dan's work.
It's good though, Dan. You gave more depth to because I felt it was a bit light. And you gave me a little bit of meat on the bone, so thank you for that.
Plagiarism. I call plagiarism blatant.
I gave Stewart the win, just a strong win. And we talk about it in the race review, but he actually equaled Jim Clark's number of record wins in this race. And that was a pretty special achievement by him.
Well, I've left Sever out of my picks. Oh, look, you make good arguments. Well, actually, Dan did, and Luigi copied Dan. So you made a good argument, Dan. I give you that. I've actually put Revson in third. He went from 15th to 5th, and look, and I don't think that was due to a whole bunch of retirements. So I thought that was a really good. In another, I don't know where Holm finished, Louis.
Well, I was going to say yes. Holm finished 6th. They're both in a McLaren, but they were both 2 laps behind.
Okay,
you're giving third place to someone that was 2 laps behind
Stewart. Yeah, fair enough. I'll take that on the chin. I did give Fittipaldi second, and I gave Stewart first.
Okay.
Do I have to back that up? I mean, I thought Fittipaldi he qualified 5th, so he finished second around Monaco. I thought that was a good, solid performance. And yeah, Stewart, dominant win, pole to win again. It's just very Stewart-like. But yes, okay, Revson was 2 laps behind. I never noticed that.
But still impressive, though, admittedly, at Monaco to do that.
I don't think there were that many retirements.
Well, it looks like a lot here.
Oh, no.
I haven't got time to count. That's a lot of names.
Okay, well, moving right along then. We've got Fittipaldi first on 98, Stewart second on 94, and Sever third on 56. So it's close. Okay. Well, close between Stewart and Fittipaldi. Okay, we're at race 7 and we're in Sweden. So this is the first Swedish Grand Prix, and it was local hero Peterson who qualified on pole ahead of Sever. Stewart and Fittipaldi started on the second row. At the start, Fittipaldi got up to second, and so the 2 Lotuses were leading the 2 Tyrrells. On lap 33, Stewart passed his teammate Sever, who fell further back behind Holm in a miscommunication with a lapped car. Holm was on a real charge and took advantage when Fittipaldi's brakes were fading before his gearbox packed up altogether. Stewart lost drive and Peterson had worn out his tyres. Holm won his first Grand Prix for the year ahead of Peterson and Sever. Stewart was a lucky man, finishing in 5th and salvaging 2 points for the championship. Dan, your thoughts?
I gave third position to Sever. He lost a position in the race, but still I thought he gave a solid performance. Peterson, I gave second to. Look, he would have been gutted not winning. He's at his home race. He got pole. All of his thoughts and the whole nation would have been thinking of, converting that to a victory. So he would have personally been gutted with it, but it's still a pretty solid performance. And Holm, I felt like I had to give him the top spot because I reckon it was possibly his best race of the year. And I think it was his only win of the year, wasn't it?
He only ever wins one a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that,
and yet he's won a championship, Louis. Yeah. See what I mean, Dan? He's just dirty on him. Like,
I can see what you have to deal with here. But look, he got my top vote. So over to you.
Okay. Yeah, so I had Stewart. I had two drivers in third.
I'm going to enjoy watching you do this one, Luigi.
Yeah, because I give Holm credit. I give Holm credit, though. I have two drivers in third place. Stewart, he fought his way to the lead and had to pass both Lotuses. So I thought that was impressive. And I actually have Holm in third, equal third, because he had a quote after the race, something along the lines of, to have taken that away from Ronnie.
Yeah, he was sad. He was sad to have taken. Yeah.
Now, the thing is, having remembered that race and that race review recap that you've read out, Rosa, I'm really regretting my pick of first because I'm realizing how so many things had to fall into place for Holm to actually win that race.
Yeah.
So I regret putting him in first. But so in second, I've got Peterson because was it a puncture or poor tyre management by Peterson? Either way, this should have been his race. And I did put Holm in first as well as third, equal third.
You did. You've given him equal 8 points. Like you've given him 10 points.
It's generous of me and I'm regretting it now. But I admit he's not in the best of cars. He's not in the Lotus or Tyrrell. They're the top two teams. And he was the fifth fastest and in the third fastest team, but he somehow managed to win the race. But that's because of all the attrition. So I do regret putting him first. I should have just put him in second and wrapped it all up with the quote and given it to Peterson, who should have won it.
Okay. Maybe you should talk to yourself in the mirror when you do these tips, Louis. Just, because, yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
maybe anytime I put Holm first, put a little note that says sleep on it and then redo the pick the next day. Yeah.
So rude. Yeah, well, interesting. That is interesting. I also I shared my third place as well, Louis. I gave Peterson and Stewart equal third with 2 points each. I thought Stewart should have come third. I don't know why I've said that now, though. Where did he finish exactly?
I think he retired.
Oh, he retired. That's right. He retired.
No, he came fifth. He came fifth, sorry.
Oh, that's right. He was lucky to finish fifth. So, yeah, I think he should have come third in this race. And Peterson, I think he also is here, similar to what you said, because when we did the race review, we sort of thought we didn't really know whether it was just a tyre. I mean, we did say that the new track layout was very hard on tyres and transmissions. So, yeah, but I sort of thought he would have had a finish. I've put Fittipaldi in my second place. He retired from second with 10 laps to go with the gearbox issues. So he probably would have won second. He would have come second if he had didn't have those gearbox issues, I reckon. And look, I put Holm first, and I have no qualms about that. He came from nowhere to win it, really. So I thought that was a good win for his one win of the year at Monaco. Yeah, so that's mine.
Okay. The only protest I would say is I think you've been a little bit generous giving Fittipaldi second.
Oh, come on.
I think you could have put Peterson in second, the guy who nearly won the race.
Well, Fittipaldi came. Well, I haven't given him the win. I've given him second.
I know,
he retired from second with 10 laps, so I thought he needed a second.
But did you notice Daniel and I didn't put him in our top?
I know. You didn't put him in at all. What's wrong with you two?
I'm saying because we felt others were more deserving. That's why. I know, Dan, you agree?
Well, that's right. I mean, there's no disrespect. It's just others were more deserving.
But Fittipaldi was deserving of a second place.
He could have got fourth or something, as in the rankings of in our thing. Yeah, maybe I should have put Fittipaldi in fourth instead of two Holmes. But
Well,
I think
all
second
right,
is a little
well-
bit on the generous side. When you consider how close Peterson was to winning it, that's all.
Thank you for your feedback. I'll take that on notice. So after this race then, we have Fittipaldi leading on 104 and Stewart second on 98 and Savert third on 60. Followed closely by Holm on 48. He's made a bit of a charge.
Yeah, I think, but considering he only wins one race, I think that's the end of him for the year. But yeah. So up to the French Grand Prix, this is race 8. So Stewart qualified on pole ahead of a surprising Jody Scheckter in the McLaren in just his third F1 race, and Fittipaldi following him. Scheckter made the quickest getaway and was followed by fifth starting Peterson. Astonishingly, Scheckter led the field for 42 laps. While lapping a back marker, however, he was hit from behind by now second place Fittipaldi. Both cars broke their left front suspension. It was quite a controversial incident, by the way. Peterson picked up the scraps to take his first ever Grand Prix victory ahead of Savert and Reutemann. Stewart came home in fourth. So Dan, your top 3 and why?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to have seen this actual race. So obviously I've got to make my comments just based on, what I'm reading. I've given third place to Savert for a solid performance. And frankly, the same to Peterson. He also did a solid performance. There's nothing here that describes, an amazing victory or driving. I gave the top spot to Scheckter. He led the field for 42 laps. I mean, I'm assuming he would have been able to take it home. While lapping a back marker, he was hit from behind. I've just taken the position that was not his fault. And I'd like to think that he was actually deserving of the win in this case. So, yeah, I'm using my vote to give him the top spot.
Okay. I think that just to quickly comment on that incident, I don't know if it was this was the incident with Fittipaldi. They hit each other. I think the back marker caused some confusion with it. Not sure.
No, Fittipaldi rammed him in the back.
Yeah, he rammed him in the back.
Like the fact that he hit him from behind, and I'm not saying fault on the part of Fittipaldi, but when you're the lead car and you're trying to get through back markers, and if they're not getting out of the way properly, and then the guy behind you's then trying to pass you or something, but you're trying to deal with getting past a back marker and you get hit up behind, I feel like he would have been feeling pretty robbed of a potential victory. And so, I've decided to upgrade that and give him the victory.
Fair enough. Okay. My top 3 is a little bit similar, but funnily enough, I've got Peterson in third, the person who actually won the race and gets his first ever Formula One win. He deserved other race wins way ahead of this one. So he was a bit lucky to get this one. And he must have been really annoyed that the Swedish Grand Prix was just before and he didn't win it. So that's his third place. In second place, I put Fittipaldi. And the reason why I gave it to Fittipaldi was because of his quote that he wasn't going to let a young hooligan push him around. So that's something that he was saying, which I thought was very funny.
Yeah, but Lloyd, that just opens up the whole question about whether he was, a bit too aggressive in trying to overtake him when...
Probably Scheckter is... I mean, Dan said he wasn't sure if it was Schecter's fault. Knowing Scheckter and what he gets up to, it possibly could have been because he was ultra aggressive.
Come on now. You're now jumping on the Schecter's a hooligan bandwagon.
No, but I've given Scheckter the win. I've put Scheckter first. It's his third F1 race. He was up to leading in lap 42 out of 54 laps. And Rosa, when you turn the pages, it's very loud, just letting you know.
Sorry, I'm trying to find something in the Grand Prix book.
Just maybe use less emotional anger when you're turning the pages.
I was trying to find the actual incident, but I can't find it.
This is how much research is going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He's still reading and researching even while recording the podcast.
Trying to argue a point.
I'm trying to argue a point here because I'm frankly surprised that you put Fittipaldi in there.
I'm surprised a bit too. And this is another one of those mirror moments where I'm wondering I guess I liked the fact that I guess it was a reflection of the time. Like, Dan, this was in 73. And Fittipaldi was like old school. He was charging up to Schechter's team, the McLaren team, and, fists angry, running, and the most aggressive thing he could say was, "You're a young hooligan." I mean, we'd bank that every day now. Like, if you're not called a young hooligan, you're not doing your job as an F1 driver. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was in his third race, Scheckter. So, like you mentioned, Luigi, like that was the other little element for me that sort of tipped it over to give him the top spot. Is that, I mean, that is incredible. You think, like, nowadays, if someone was in their third F1 race and they put in a performance like that, you'd be like, wow.
Wow, exactly.
They'd be signed up by everyone, which Scheckter does get signed up by a lot of big teams. So, yeah.
Well, I had Reutemann in my third spot. Yeah, I left out. I left out Stewart.
Who came second?
And Fittipaldi. So I had Reutemann in third. He went from 8th to 3rd in a BRM. And I don't know, BRM, what are they like in this? They're like a midfield team here too in this era. I had Peterson second, similar to Dan, great start, good finish. And then I put Scheckter first, same reason as you guys. And I 100%, if you get hit from behind, I mean, I guess there are some circumstances where it could be considered partly your fault, but in most cases, the person behind has more of an obligation to not hit you. So I didn't put Fittipaldi in for that reason. So yeah, that was my 3.
And a good pick for Reutemann, actually, to be third. He's in the Brabham.
Oh, is it the Brabham? Yeah. Sorry, I thought it was BRM.
But still, Brabham was not a great team this year.
Yeah, okay. I'll change that just so that our records are correct. Yeah, so I thought that was a good finish from him. Yep. All right, so Fittipaldi is still leading on 110 thanks to Luigi's points there. Stewart is on 98. Sever is on 64 and Holm is on 48. But Peterson is catching Holm now. He's on 46. All right, we're at the British Grand Prix. Pole position was won by Peterson with Holm and Revson, both in McLarens next to him. Stewart and Fittipaldi filled the second row of the grid and Scheckter lined up in 6th place. At the start, Stewart shot up to take the lead ahead of Peterson and 8th starting Reutemann. Going through Woodcote corner for the first time, Scheckter lost the back end of his McLaren, hit the pit wall and came to a halt in the middle of the track. Revson hit Schechter's rear wing and another 9 cars came together in a pile-up. The race was suspended while marshals extracted Andrea de Adamic in the Brabham, from the wreckage with a broken ankle. 90 minutes after the first start, the race got underway again and Peterson led from Lauda in the BRM and Stewart. Stewart quickly got up to second and then tried his luck for first but spun on the curb. When Lauda made a pit stop, that's when he ended up with the corn in his car, Louis, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very funny.
So he had to go get it cleaned out. When Lauda made a pit stop, Fittipaldi was second until he was hit with a transmission failure. During a short rain shower, Peterson lost the lead to Revson and the American managed to win his first Grand Prix. Holm was third ahead of James Hunt in 4th. Over to you, Dan.
Gee, what carnage, hey, in this race.
Yes. Did you watch it on YouTube, Dan? There was footage of this one.
Well, I think I'll have to now.
Yeah,
I
you do.
But yeah, I definitely have to check it out. I gave Holm third place. Look, he dropped it, so he qualified second, but I still thought he did a very good performance. Look, a race like this, it's hard to keep up unless you exactly see it. Like, hard to keep up exactly how much detriment did various drivers get through, the incidents and so on. But I thought Holm did a good performance. Peterson, he got pole and second. So, look, overall, it was a very good weekend for him. But yeah, look, Revson, he won the race, full credit to him. And look, he did a decisive pass in the wet, which, there's almost bonus points for that, these days as a racing driver. So, yeah, I gave him the top spot.
Yeah. Home there was interesting, but I guess you did include. So who finished first? It was Revson
Revson
first,
won.
Peterson second, and Holm third. So you've pretty much given the podium.
Yeah, I
Yes,
couldn't really
You've given the
see
podium. Yeah.
particularly like upgrading or downgrading any of them in particular, but I think, there's reasons why. Yeah, there's reasons why.
That's good.
I think
I would say
they fit their spots. But yeah, how about you?
I thought Holm was a bit generous, that's all.
Oh, of course you'd say that.
Please explain.
I just felt like it was a typical home result.
Which you don't respect at all.
Boring, steady.
And this is the man who loves Stewart.
Yeah, well, in this, my top three is a little bit similar actually. I've got two drivers in third, equal third. I put Fittipaldi and Stewart in equal third. They get 2 points each. And I've said Fittipaldi because he was up there towards the end. And Stewart, I'd make this, give him 1 and Fittipaldi 3, but because I can't, Stewart gets a bonus point. Because, Dan, I got in trouble for this because apparently when you've got 4 points for third place and you divvied up, you can't go 3-1.
No, because he's creating a fourth place. That's not equal third.
So I had to make them 2 each. So Stewart gets 2 points, he gets a bonus point. He doesn't really deserve it. But that's because that's the way, as I'm playing the system according to the Rosa rules. I put Peterson in second because I felt like he had this race until he had car issues. So this should have been a back-to-back Peterson win, I think. And I put Revson first, his well-deserved win, and he was battling his own demons as well. Like a lot of drivers had problems and challenges. So he did well to hold on for the win. And he won by a reasonable margin as well. Okay, he only won by about 2 seconds. But I'm just having a look.
Reasonable.
And Holm was 0.2 behind Peterson. The three of them were really close.
Okay.
Then there was a gap. No, there wasn't. 0.4 seconds in Hunt. Then it was 30 seconds later for Stewart. So the first four was split by just 2 seconds. So that's quite an impressive performance by Revson to hold it out with those drivers behind him, which luckily Holm was carried along by Peterson.
What? All right. Well, I've actually combined second and third, and I've made them equal winners. Equal second between Fittipaldi and Peterson. They got 5 points each. Because I agree with you, Louis. Peterson would have won this race if he hadn't had those car issues, and I think Fittipaldi would have finished second if he hadn't had those transmission problems. Because what lap did he retire from? Like it was right at the end, wasn't it? So, yeah, I'm giving Fittipaldi second place again here. But I did give Revson my 8 points. I think I agree with you. Great first win in what was a tough race. Like he had to go back out there 90 minutes after they first raced after a big and I think he's the one that hit Schechter's car in the first place.
Yeah, that would have been unsettling. Yeah,
exactly. So, and then he had to hold off the likes of, Peterson and I really wanted to give Hunt some points in this one, but I didn't in the end. I couldn't find a reason to give it to him ahead of those other three. So there you go. Yeah, so that's my tips.
Okay, and one quick comment about the Stewart. Yeah, I've got no issues with those tips, and I don't know if you do, Dan.
No, look, I think, they're all good comments. I was enjoying listening to them. Yeah, I've got no problem at all.
Okay, I just want to say I'm looking at a picture of Stewart in the corn at Stowe when he went off, and I had a vision of cornfields, like up to your head.
Yeah,
in a
me
pub.
too.
But no, it's more like up to the helmet level of the car.
Oh, right.
But I wonder why corn.
Yeah, why did they plant corn there?
Maybe that's like weird. the best runoff plant.
Safety measure plant.
If you're going to hit any vegetables, then, corn is the safest one.
Hey, can you imagine if corn had gone through the hot engine, it would have made popcorn. That's something.
That's pretty funny, yeah. We can do one more race after this.
All right. So after 9 races, Fittipaldi's in the lead 117. Stewart is second on 100. Sever is third on 64. And Peterson is fourth on 63. So that's very close still. All right, Louis. Yep.
Okay, race 10, the Dutch Grand Prix. So Ferrari, who we haven't talked about much this.
No,
That's why Rosa got to pick him when she could. Decided to withdraw from the Dutch Grand Prix to focus on upgrading their cars, seeing that they played no part in the championship so far this year. And 72 was their rebuild year. So their 73 has not gone to plan. So Fittipaldi crashed during Saturday practice when his left front wheel broke coming onto the start-finish straight. His ankles were badly bruised. His teammate Peterson qualified on pole for the 6th time this season, ahead of Stewart and Sever, both in the Tyrrell. The top 2 remained the same at the start, but 8th starting Pache took the place of Sever in 3rd. Fittipaldi had started the race, but pitted on the 2nd lap and was helped out of his car. He couldn't, his ankles were too sore. I wouldn't say sore. I think it must have been much more than sore for him to pull out of the race. On lap 8, Williamson crashed his march and was trapped in his overturned and burning car. With the crash taking place at the far end of the track, no one of the marshals understood this, instead mistaking David Purley having abandoned his race to rescue Williamson for the driver that had crashed, and they tried to drag him away. This makes more sense in the race review, Dan and others. The race, meanwhile, continued with a fire blanket covering the body of Williamson, so he passed away. Peterson's lead grew ever bigger until on lap 40 his engine was losing speed. He eventually retired on lap 66. Stewart took his 4th victory of the season ahead of Sever and Hunt.
Okay, so
Over to you, Dan. Yeah.
I've given 3rd spot to, pretty dramatic race. Yeah, I think we all kind of took a bit of a breath and a pause after that, didn't we? I gave 3rd place to Sever quietly. I was, in terms of his performance, it was just quietly picking up the points. That's just the impression I got. Stewart obviously gave a very good performance. By now it feels like he's very much, that number 1 top driver, delivering as we expect of him. I gave the top spot to Purley, though. He has, look, that the marshals, that they weren't there to help. He abandoned his race, to rescue this guy. And, for that level of courage and sacrifice and mateship for your fellow driver. Yeah, for me, that was clearly the defining moment, and one that, that's the one I remember the most. And I think, comes with a lot of respect for the drivers and what they do, and in particular in this case, what Purley did. And it's as if it allows the drivers to race again the following weekend, knowing that if the worst happens, your fellow drivers will be there for you. So, yeah.
Okay.
Those are my thoughts.
Yep. No comments other than that's good.
Yep.
I had 2 drivers in equal 3rd. Stewart, this is weird to put him in equal 3rd because he won the race for setting a wins record ahead of Clark. So he set the wins record that would last until Prost beat it in 1987.
Prost.
He gets 2 points.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess if anyone was going to, you won't mind me interrupting, will you, Luigi, on this?
Not at all. No.
If someone is going to be beating that record, it must be, the one and only Alain Prost.
Yeah, that's right.
Unlike Holm, he is a great man.
Yeah.
Please spare me, people.
A driver that knows how to win more than one race a year.
But was too scared to race in the wet.
The professor.
The professor. He's called Professor for a reason. Professors know not to run in the rain.
If they don't need to.
Yeah, they don't need to. They do what they need to
because they had their race directors on their side.
Okay, so I had equal 3rd also with Stewart was Peterson. He was dominating the race until his engine had issues on lap 40. So I felt like he really missed out on this win. This would have been his 3rd win in a row, in theory, if he didn't have all this bad stuff happen to him. And like Dan explained, 2nd I put Purley. such bravery in his attempts to save Williamson. And in first, I put in Williamson for making the ultimate sacrifice and chasing his dream. And this was only his second ever F1 race. So,
Gosh,
I just
that
want to
almost
acknowledge
adds to the tragedy, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, only his second race, and that was the end. So, yeah.
Yes, I had Hunt in my third place. He came third with no clutch, apparently, and he was driving with no clutch for the last half hour of the race, which would have been about, I don't know, how many laps, Louis? Half hour?
The race went for 1 hour, 39 minutes. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty good, pretty decent. Look, I actually watched vision of this race and it really affected me. It was very, it was very confronting, I think, especially watching Pearly being so distraught and being, taken away from the car, and he kept going back trying to, it's a very bad watch. But it stuck with me, and I've actually put my second place equal between Williamson and Pearly. So I've recognised just how tragic that accident was, like all circumstances of it, like the misunderstanding, everything, the fact that Williamson was only in his second race. And then in my first place, I've given it to Peterson. I think he had this race in the bag, but for the car issues that plagued him right at the end there. It's not right at the end. I think, how many laps was this race, Louis? I don't know.
He had his car issues. It was early on,
Oh, okay.
It was like lap 40 out of...
But he had a huge lead.
Laps. Yeah, he was in control. He was totally in control.
Huge lead.
It was about lap 40 roughly that he went out, but he had the race under control.
Yeah, okay. So that's, they're mine. They're my tips.
Okay.
So we have Fittipaldi first on 117, Stewart on 108 in second place. Peterson has jumped up to third on 73 and Sever on 68. Holm is on 52 in the middle of the pack, just where Louis likes him.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll call it there, Louis. I think this is going to be a three-parter. Gosh, we're going to have to sort something out in the future races when there's 30 of them, 24.
I like to think it's Dan's impact / fault, but really it's me. It's me.
All right, we'll see you back here, everyone, for the final part of the 1973 TP Championship.
Okay, bye.
Bye for now.